So what I see a lot of people do diagrams, and like mine aren't amazing, but hopefully they get the point across. After we've already decided who's the audience, what do we want to get across, and we got to make a picture, because 80% of people are more visually structured for their learning, right? So if I'm going to make a diagram, and let's make this guy pretty here. Let's do that. Okay. If I'm going to make a diagram, and I want to make something dense, right? I'd like it to be dense without looking dense. Like, sort of like when you do PowerPoint. If you do PowerPoint with bullets, unless you're Cap One, you try and put a reasonable amount of text on there, but you don't want to make it where somebody's reading the slide, right? So in this case with the diagram, what we need is something that people can pick up on their own and also has depth in it. So when they actually stare at it, they get more out of it than just the 5 boxes on the screen, right? So what are the things? How can we get more information in a diagram without making it more complicated? And so what I'm wondering is, what can we do to a diagram? And I got some hints over here on the side. And let's start off with, we can make an infographic. Okay, so this is awesome on LinkedIn, and it's great in a presentation, and it's got like text and a bunch of other stuff, and so it's a diagram, and it's got some other things, but you don't want to be like, a Gannett newspaper where the infographic overwhelms the message, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so infographic is one. I'm not a big fan of this. So I'm going to italicize this, actually. So I'm going to say that another one of these things we can do is we can manipulate the text, right? So if we have one of these, we can manipulate the text. I'm actually not a big fan of it, even though I just did it, right? So if I were to take a diagram like this thing in the bottom and I put words in each of these, or like I did, show me. You can't read that, but that's cool. Right? I can manipulate the text. You know what I mean? I mean style the text. So I'm going to style the text, right? So I can do an infographic, I can style the text. I'm putting these on these side because I do infographics, or I pretty them up, but if I have stuff to get across, what are my go-tos, right? Well, one of the go-tos to me is color. And I'd use color a lot, right? And actually, let's use it now. Let's find another color. Why not, right? So if I do color, why do I do that? I can show all kinds of interesting things in color, right? I can show like the owning team, owner, right? I can show the current status. I'm just doing this little mind map thing here, but the idea is I can use color, right? The next one that I can use in my mind is the shape itself, right? And anybody that's I'm going to use this as an example here as flowchart, right? Anybody that's ever done a flowchart knows that you can do shapes, right? So like you can say this is a action, this is a question, this is a pause point, this is a synchronization, right? So the idea behind the shape is we can tell the type normally, right? We can tell the type of something that it is. We use shapes a lot for this. And so what's the next one? The next one would be size, right? I'm not as big a fan of this one. Why don't I well, you know what? Let's just use size. And I'm going to say size. You know what? I'm going to say, let's put this one here. I'm going to say size or relative size. Size. Right. So you can use the size of the box, the bigger and what we can do, we can say that's complexity. We can say it's importance. Right? And you can do more with these than I'm saying, but like we can, so the shape here, the one I was talking about here, I've got a square, a rectangle, one of these, I could do an octagon, right? As an example, I've got this palette of shapes that I can use to mean different things. I can do relative size, complexity, and importance. I saw this the other day in something. We had 20 boxes on the screen, and there was no way to tell which of those were more important or which ones were bigger, because they were every component had the same size, right? Now, if we want everything to be sized the same because it makes the diagram look better, then we're going to color them, right? Or we're going to pick a shape. The next one I think we could do is line style. So you see these two here, right? One of them solid lines, one's dashed line. I'll use that sometimes for, you know, like future. That's sort of like a state. Right? So it could be future or current is what I tend to use it for. It could be stable, unstable. It could mean anything. Now, you can see here we're using color, shape, relative size, and line style. I've already got 4 things. And so one of the things we need to do is we don't want to overload this thing, but I will, like I tend not to use relative size if I use color, shape, and line style, right? Because then it's like, why is this one 5 times as big as the other? Sometimes it just doesn't look as good. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to say in order of Joe's preference, I actually probably would do it more like this, right? So I've got infographic text style on this side, which I'm kind of debating whether I like that. And then I've got color, shape, line style, and relative size. So pick what you're going to use each one for and stick with it. Oh, last one. Yeah, this one kind of weirds me out. I haven't decided. So this one here, and annotations. And I've done this one before too, a fair amount, right? So an annotation is like these little stickers you see on this mural board, right? So this box has 2 of these qualifiers. This has got 1 of the qualifier. This has got 1. And you know what? I can pull another one out here. This says link, not that they're chained together. So let me close that and bring this guy over, and I can put, you know, this one here. So this is the cloud thingy. So I've seen this done before to do ownership or to see what process, what kind of work is done in something. The only problem I have with annotations is it's kind of hard to figure out like what they mean. Like, what does the cloud mean? What does the link mean? You end up, whereas color, a lot of times people can figure out. In this case, what we've done is we've overloaded this, right? For all of these, you can only have 1. A given box can only have 1 color, 1 shape, 1 line style, 1 relative size, right? And generally, it can only have 1 style in the text. But with an annotation, this actually gives you, let me think about this, too many on some characteristic. So that one's kind of interesting. So that's it. That's all I got to say. This was 7 minutes, man, longer than I thought. So when you're doing a diagram, if it looks like this guy with nothing else and all the lines and the boxes look the same and they're the same shape, shame on you, right? You have the ability, you have other tools to give people other information. Don't go crazy. Pick which ones you're going to use, but use more than plain boxes, in my opinion, every time. Never seen a diagram that couldn't use color, shape, line style, size, or relative size. Really, color, shape, and line style. And then I've also seen this annotations, and I've used text styling just a little bit, usually italics like I did here. Have a great day.